What's happening, YouTube? So I was trying to come up with some ideas, some talking points for this video, and yesterday I made a video and I said that this channel, my purpose, my use for this channel would be to just share my perspective, um, share my experiences, stories from my life. And as I was trying to come up with a topic, I said, you know what, I'm gonna shoot from the hip tonight. I'm just gonna talk to you, YouTube, about why I'm on this platform. It's not so much to gain all these followers, become this big YouTuber, but it's more of an idea that I had that I could express myself. I could express myself freely to complete strangers, which is a pretty cool idea when you think about it. It takes a lot of courage. Now, I'm not saying all this to say that I'm overly courageous or anything like that, but when you really think about it, to get in front of a camera and to express yourself and be vulnerable to potentially thousands and hundreds of thousands and who knows, millions of people, but to do that fearlessly, that's huge. And so to that point, I really respect the heck out of all these content creators that get on in front of their cameras or in front of their phones, on their podcasts, and they bare their souls. And I thought that's really cool. Like it's therapy. It's therapeutic. So tonight I figured what I talk about is where I'm at in my life. I'm over 50, recently divorced, and I recently, after the divorce, relocated from the West Coast back to the South. I was with my wife for 15 years. So much has changed in 15 years. 15 years ago, there were no dating apps. 15 years ago, there was no Bumble, no Hinge, nothing like that. I have no idea how to even begin dating in this era. I can admit it, I'm kind of lost. And when I think about it, I thought about it earlier, and I thought about it when I first moved back here to Atlanta. I can't be the only one that's feeling like this. There's a whole segment, I'm sure there's a whole segment of the population of people over 40, people over 50, that are newly single, newly retired, forced into retirement, laid off, all these different huge, impactful life changes, and they're trying to figure out how to adapt and how to adjust and acclimate to society, and a society that's completely different from when they were last in a significant relationship, when they were last job hunting or looking for a new place to live or anything like that. Things are so different. It's kind of daunting. It's very daunting, but I am welcoming this challenge. I'm welcoming this new journey that I'm forging, this path that I'm forging for myself. And I don't know where it's going to lead, but I decided that part of that journey, part of that path, will be me sharing my life, sharing my experiences, sharing my stories with you here on YouTube. I think it's phenomenal that we can engage with other people from different walks of life. We can get onto the platform and search videos and find that people are similar to us, people who have had similar experiences or similar life situations or circumstances occur, and see how they've dealt with them, see how they're living, coping, adjusting to where they're at now and where they came from. I don't know exactly what my niche is going to be. Niche, it's such a word. I don't know what my niche is going to be, but I think this channel may be random. Last night I spoke about self-care and self-love. Today I'm talking about transition. life transitions, relationship transitions. Um, so it's going to vary, but it's going to be authentic. It's going to be unedited. It's going to be unscripted. And we're just going to see where it goes. Now, one thing that I'm really passionate about, and really like, it's transformed me, and I just want to share it. It's making emotional connections. With the dating apps, there's no opportunity to really make emotional connections via a dating app, because you're at an app, you're texting one another, you're messaging one another, but there's no real emotional connection. I was just at a restaurant and bar grill the other night and started a conversation with a couple, and we got to talking. We started talking about social interactions with strangers, and how people are so afraid to talk to strangers and make a conversation these days. It's a part of life. How are you going to meet people if you're scared to meet people? How are you going to engage with people if you're afraid to say hi, wave? You know, one thing, I heard someone say this the other day: people are very rarely the first to wave, but they're always the first to wave back. Think about that. Let's start being the person that waves first. That's connection. Let's make a social connection with a random stranger. Holding the door for someone when you walk into a building. You ever hold the door for someone and they immediately start to run? I always catch myself telling that person, when I'll hold the door for a male or a female, and they'll start running, and I'll say, hey, there's no rush. Take your time. It's putting them at ease. Again, you're making a social connection with someone. And you make that eye contact and they say, thank you. Not a problem, you're welcome. Have a great day. So many times, so many people are spending their days just going through life, not paying attention to anyone else, but what's directly in front of them. Not waving to someone, not saying hello, how are you doing? In a cafe or a coffee shop, complimenting someone on their fingernails and their nail polish, or their tie, or their shoes. Just random social interactions. That's just being human. That's just being a kind human. And there's absolutely nothing wrong with being a kind human. That's what the world needs. This is exactly what we need. More people who are determined to be kind human beings to one another. It's sorely lacking. And who knows where it could go. You may make an acquaintance. You may strike up a conversation and find you have things in common. Spirituality, yoga, dancing, foods that you like, the interests you have in common. And this all could start from just a random social interaction and connection. Let's also talk about emotional connections with people. Forming true emotional connections. I'm not talking about superficial, hey, what are you doing tonight? Let's go hang out, let's have a drink. I'm talking about emotional connections, whether it's with a friend, a colleague, a partner, a spouse, a family relative, your community, where you're free to be yourself. You feel empowered to be your true, authentic self. You can be vulnerable. How cool is that? How awesome is that when you're able to have these relationships, these friendships? It doesn't have to be romantic. An emotional connection doesn't always come with just a romantic relationship. It could be any kind of friendship or any kind of relationship. But emotional connections where you're free to be your authentic self. Show up as your true, authentic self, and that person respects it and honors it. And they reciprocate it. we need to get back to these fundamental parts of relationships, these fundamental pillars of relationships. We need to get back to that. Too much of the world now is based in superficial, just surface things, surface level things. There's no depth. You know, if there's no depth in a relationship, if there's no depth or true emotional connection in a friendship, you'll find that you don't really have that much in common. You know, when you're able to share a space and be quiet with a person and you're still comfortable, that's the emotional connection. That's depth. When you're not always searching or trying to figure out what to say, because if you don't say something, or if you guys aren't on your phones, if you're not engaged, you're on your phones and you're ignoring each other, there's no emotional connection there. Social media has killed society. Social media has killed social interaction and emotional connections, because everybody's so involved in their phones. Everybody's so involved in what's in front of them, not concerned or not interested in what's around them. Let's get back to that. Speaking of that, that's one of the reasons I think it's going to be so challenging to meet people who are willing and able to engage in more than just a superficial level, because people just don't have those skills anymore. So I'm looking to YouTube to form these social connections via my channel. I invite you, I encourage you to pose questions, make a comment. If you make a comment, I'm going to comment back. I'm not just going to like your comment. If you pose a question, I'm going to give you an answer. If you have a channel and you follow me, I'm going to follow you back. We're going to build a community. Let's start building communities on YouTube. That's what YouTube is. That's what YouTube is pushing now, is community-based channels. You don't have to search for this specific lane that you have to be in, where you're only talking about one particular subject or only have one particular content. You can share your life. You can share your experiences. You can share your dreams. You can share. You can be open. Have dialogue. So please, if any of what I'm saying is resonating with you, hit the like button. If you want to see some more of this, hit the subscribe button. If you have a channel, drop your channel name. I'm going to follow you back. We're going to support each other. Let's start doing that. Let's start making this a real community. We don't all have to have things in common, but if there are things that we can take from one another, that's going to be enough. That's going to be more than enough, because that's going to give you added value. You're going to be able to pick something up from me. I'm going to be able to pick something up from you. I have something to offer you. You have something to offer me. Someone else is bringing something to the table. And it's community-based. That's the YouTube that I want to be a part of. That's what I'm going to start posting on my channel. Like I said, it may be random. It may just be a conversation. It may just be some dialogue. It may be something about meditation. It may be something about walking. It may be something about teas that I like. I've just recently, for the first time in my life, gotten into drinking teas. And I'm drinking yogi, herbal teas, detox, teas for stress relief, teas for promoting positive energy. I spent my entire life not liking tea. Now I've discovered I love tea. That's another example of opening your mind, opening your horizons, being receptive to new things. After 50-something years of me saying I hate teas, I've just discovered over the last few months I actually enjoy drinking tea. Herbal teas. They're good for you. After I don't know how many years of saying I don't like walking, I go for 2.5, 3, 4 mile walks several times a week. On average, I do 2.5 miles. I've just discovered I love meditation. I love meditating. Every morning, I wake up at 4:30, 5 o'clock in the morning. One of the first things I do, when it's still dark, I meditate in silence. When I get home, one of the first things I do, guided meditation. Today I came home, had a long day at work, and there were some ups and downs, had some emotional ups and downs, a little anxiety, a little overthinking. And I got on YouTube, searched for meditation for anxiety, and boom, a 10-minute guided meditation session for an anxiety and overthinking. It was amazing. It was absolutely amazing to give myself, my body, my spirit, my mind to the universe and just open and be vulnerable and be receptive to what I was hearing, to be receptive to receive what was being given to me. I came out of the meditation session. I'm sorry. Here we go. Like I said, it's going to be unedited, unscripted. I'm going to stutter. I may fumble over a word or two. I came out of the 10-minute meditation session and I felt incredible. A weight had been lifted off my mind. A weight had been lifted off my shoulders, off my soul. And I felt refreshed, reset, recalibrated. And I was ready to have a great evening after that. I came home heavy-minded, and within an hour, clean slate. These are the things I'm discovering. It's never too late to find new things. It's never too late to discover ways to help yourself become a better human being, ways to help yourself recharge, ways to help yourself strengthen yourself spiritually, strengthen yourself mentally, strengthen yourself emotionally, and become more enlightened. It's never too late for that. Let's do this. Let's do it together. As I said, if it resonates with you, if you want a natural, holistic, very unedited, unscripted, off-the-cuff approach to engaging, this is the place for you. Hit the like button, hit the subscribe button. If you have a channel, let me know what it is. Follow me and I'll follow you right back. I'm going to say goodnight for now. Until next time.